What's up, everyone? It's Lights Out 7 with some Week 9 starts and sits. So start with the QBs. QBs that I like this week. Daniel Jones against Las Vegas Raiders. I think that's going to be high scoring, so I actually like Derek Carr in the same game. So, if you're playing DFS or if you want to look at stacking, that's not a bad game to attack. I think it's going to be high scoring. Giants play with a fast pace, and so do the Raiders, actually. So that'll be a nice one. Again, staying with the same game theme, Tyrod and Tua could go back to back in that game. So Houston, Miami, I like both quarterbacks here. So Tyrod's first game back, he's going to get his yards on the ground, regardless of the injury, I think. And Tua should be able to put some points up, even if they're missing the likes of Will Fuller, Devonta Parker. I think there's points in that game. So both of those quarterbacks I like as well. Moving on to running backs, Zach Moss against Jacksonville. I think that's a sneaky RB2 play this week. I think Kenyon Drake can be played because we're not sure about Josh Jacobs. He said he's healthy, but again, missing Ruggs now for the Raiders. Do they look at other playmakers? Drake's not a bad flex this week. I think so's Tony Pollard's a nice flex option as well. I think Denver's a very run funnel defense. You can play both Zeke, and obviously you're playing Zeke, but you could play Tony Pollard as well as a flex this week. And I like Khalil Herbert against Pittsburgh, even against that D. I think Pittsburgh can be attacked against the run. So I'm not scared of that matchup at all. Wide receivers. So I've talked about the Raiders. So Brian Edwards and Renfro. I think you can start them both, regardless of format. Usually Renfro's safe from PPR, but I think, you're playing him now without Ruggs. There's only 4 or 5 targets the Ruggs is leaving behind. But, if you spread them across one each, it's an uptick for everyone, including Waller, obviously coming back. Jamal Agnew's not a bad start because he's separating the most out of all those receivers. So Chenault's struggling to get open. Marvin Jones is a deep threat, but Jones is not having time, or he's not just having faith in Marvin Jones, and he's boom bust anyway. Agnew seems to be the safest player out of those 3 receivers. Christian Kirk for the injury reasons for the Cardinals, you've got Hopkins who's injured, AJ Green who's on the COVID list. You got Kyler Murray, who injury we're watching very closely. Even if he doesn't play, I think Kirk's safe. Julio Jones I'm going to play, and not to do with the AJ Brown injury. Obviously, if he doesn't play, Julio's a must start. But even though I think that's another high scoring game, the Rams are high paced, Tennessee will be high paced, and they'll have to keep up. Julio's probably going to be safe in this game if he's fit. Tight ends. So Dallas Goedert is a start. They got no one left in Philadelphia, and that's sneaky high score in that game. So there's 2 or 3 games that I like this week. Philadelphia at Los Angeles Chargers is another one, or the other round, sorry. Pat Frymouth is probably a play, even if Ebron comes back. Probably not scared of that. He showed enough. He's on the field more. And Zach Ertz, obviously, even if it's Colt McCoy throwing the ball, I think he's okay this week. Onto the QB sits. So games that I'm not really excited about, that Cleveland-Cincy game. So I would sit Baker Mayfield, even though he's probably going to have something to prove without Odell Beckham. He can still put up his numbers. I still want to stay away from that if I can. Teddy Bridgewater against Dallas. Not keen on that one, the way Denver are going. Matt Ryan against the Saints, not in love with that one either. So I'd look to sit all those 3 if I can. Moving on to the running backs to sit. James Robinson hasn't practiced all week, but they say he's going to play. So people might be tempted to throw him in against the number 1 defense. I don't want any of that. AP and McNichols, I'm not sure who's going to take over. / game flow. So, game flow, you'd think McNichols is going to have a larger role in it, although AP has just shown that he's not really human and he could easily shoulder the workload. So I want to see it a week. It doesn't help that next week they got another tough matchup. So, you're looking at maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you're looking for a bit of an explosion from one of these 2. And I would sit Javonte Williams for the same reason. I think Dallas runs away with that one. I don't think they've got enough firepower to stay in around the goal line. A few things I don't really like about that game. On to the wide receivers to sit. So all the Falcons I would sit. I think Matt Ryan's going to struggle, therefore I think the receivers are going to struggle. And also, Russell Gage threw up a 0 last week. Tajay Sharp was the one who performed. That could easily switch. You're not going to play either, really, if you can. Jarvis Landry is a sit. Again, staying away from that game as much as I can, apart from probably the running backs. Baker could look at Landry quite a lot, but again, I don't know if the scoring opportunities will be there. Chase Claypool is a sit for me, even though that's probably at home against Chicago. You would think to start him, but I haven't seen enough from Ben from the deep ball, so I want to stay away from Chase until I see it. Tight ends to sit. Jared Cook, I think, can be sat this week. Something tells me they're going to get Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, just pepper them back. Herbert's going to go after them, so I want to stay away from that. And Evan Ingram, I'm going to sit because Galladay's back, Tony's playing well, and I don't really trust Evan Ingram with his 3 catches last week against Kansas City. So yeah, cool. Good luck, everyone. Speak on the Takeaway Show. Bye.